Okay, hi, and welcome to this video where we'll be working on the final composite render. So previously we worked on the background creation, so in this video we're going to be tying everything up. Right, so let's get right to it. Okay, so what we first start with doing is creating some kind of illumination for the moon right behind there. So what I'm going to do now is go on and create a new layer on top of the highlights. I'm going to call it VFX, which stands for visual effects, but I've shortened it. We will turn this blend mode to screen and go to our gradient tool and change it to a bucket tool and drop. Now that's the cool thing about screen mode. Regardless of the color that you filled it with, it won't affect it, right? That's where you get there. So what's next is for me to go over to my brush tool. Okay, still on my VFX layer. What next that I need to do is turn this blend mode here to screen. Go over to my brush tool, change my brush back to basic. Okay, I chose 100 pixel brush that is soft, and what I will do is drop this down. And I haven't shown you this neat trick. Neat trick that I can do if I want to quickly reduce the opacity. All I can do is type in the percentage I want, and then I can hit tab to go to the flow. The flow actually needs me to hold down shift and change the value. I'm going to be hitting, sorry about that, 50. Okay, I've done that. So right, and I'm going to bump up the brush a bit for the sake of the moon. I want something tone of gray, right? And all I'm just going to do is just brushing the effect over the moon, give it that. You can see that a bit too much. Need to bump it down a bit. Just wanted to. And it looks good. Now, what's next is for us to move in on the eyes as well. I'm going to go with something a bit on the yellow side. Let's see how that works out. Bump the brush down a bit, and to make it much more controlled, let's bump down the brush a bit. Let's see. Gives. Now some of you be like, oh, we could have used the blend mode to do this, but this happens to be a bit faster. And there we have it. The glow in the eyes. And yep. Now what's next is for us to tie in all the colors. I'm gonna create another layer. We'll call this the color pass or grading. Let me call it color grading. Now the reason why this is very important is up until recently I didn't used to add this to any of my digital drawings. The thing is, in real world light, every object color texture is affected by what the environment is illuminated by, sort of called the ambience, right? So if you're in an environment that is being illuminated by warm light, every object in that scene, regardless of what color is illuminated, and that also applies to those illuminated by cool lighting. So we're going to create that. So all the colors, everything looks okay, but not realistic enough, right? So I'm looking like I want my environment to be, I've been using a lot of warm colors in the environment, and some warm lighting hit most of the suit. So I was thinking of going with something in the range of green, maybe. Okay, so we'll try that. Check the color swatches to see. Okay, the value seem okay. Now what I'm going to do to this color grading layer is turn it to color, and I'm going to go over to my paint bucket tool and fill that in. Right off the bat, this is way too much, but we can see it gives that effect of nighttime render, right? Without doing much of, but what I'm going to do is bump down the opacity. So what this does is it lets your drawing be washed with the same, so no color is looking much more brighter than the other. And if you want to go up and down a bit, you can see the subtle changes. If I drop it all the way down, it turns back to normal. So it ties all the colors in, not making it look too bright or non-standing out over the other. Everything does ties in, and I think I'm okay with this at 42%, and this looks good. Now what I'm quickly going to do is click out of there, go over to the select tool. I'm going to group all of this into one place. These are all the slides. I'm going to drop into groups. We'll call this my highlights and VFX. I need to make it capital letter here. Need to make it right. So what's next is for me to add another layer, and this layer will be for okay, what I need to add is actually I want to add a Marvel banner. I want to add text, and we'll go call it. So I really don't need that for now. Let me get rid of that. And let me show you what I wanted to. Okay, there's another sister tool of Adobe Photoshop, which is Illustrator. I love to use this app for logos and anything to do with vectors. Great app. So this is an official Marvel logo from Brands of the World. They are brandsoftheworld.com if you Google it up. And what I did is come over to Adobe Illustrator, open it up, and export as a PNG, right? And what that does is I can come over to Photoshop and go over to place, and we'll change the views for you to better see one. And that's it. Already exported it from Illustrator as a PNG, and you have lots of resources and popular logos on Brands of the World for non-commercial use, unless you're using it for your own private drawings or stuff like that. Well, it's all free. So what I did was go and get all my favorite icons, comics, everything, in case I want to do fan art in the future, which I obviously will. Okay, so this is place, and it automatically creates a layer. So you need that up there. Pause another bit. Hold down Shift. I'm doing that to make sure it stays balanced. And I'm just eyeballing, just seeing what works best for the. I don't want it to be too. Okay, that's now I hit the selection key so that I can place it, and voila, looks just right. Now what I'll do again is add the AWA logo, which happens to be somewhere in my pictures. Okay, I created this in Illustrator as well and exported it as a PNG, right? So go place it somewhere here, and just the same way I did the Marvel logo, eyeballing it as well. It's usually great for you to watermark your drawing so that nobody just gets to make use of it just like that, right? Okay, so all of these are smart objects, so like vectors in here, and what I will do is bump down the transparency of that AWA logo just a bit. I want the topography of where the character is standing to show through a bit. Yep, and blends. Now what's next is for us to add text. Now looking for a suitable place to drop the text, and it seems to be this area below is left on. So what I'll do is go over to text, the type tool, the type tool. For word processing, almost every tool that has to do with digital art or vectors has the type tool. And I already did my research, and I already found out what the font for Black Panther is, the movie, and it's Wolf's Bane, which I've already gotten ready. I can quickly type that, Wolf's Bane. And I have a lot of, I think I got the full family of fonts. So I have Wolf Bane, and I'm just going to drop that there, and I'm going to type in Black. Hit enter to. Now you can't really appreciate because of the colors. Change that to black. You can see that, and I need to centralize the font. Yeah, it seems like we're done, right? No, not even close yet. Going to centralize the font, eyeballing it as we did. Now what I will do is add effects to this font. I'm going to start with stroke. By default, the stroke is black, but I want it to be a hue of yellow. Okay, I brought back a nifty tool that I used earlier on in the tutorial, and that's Pixie. So what I did is found the official Black Black Panther movie poster online, and I sampled the color there, and there we have it inside here. And I'll say okay for the stroke. Go close my Pixie over there, and I can increase the size. Looking good. And I can go over to outer glow, still in screen mode. I can increase the spread, size, anything to make it look epic. Good. And we can try having a drop shadow. Okay, so I did a bit of drop shadow. Gives some kind of floating bevel effect, and if you're fine with it, then okay, just messing with the opacity a bit for it to just blend in a bit more. And I say okay, and I can still move it around, and I'm going to zoom out and have a look at it. Right, so last but not the least, we'll put everything into a group again, and we'll call it text, logos and text. Ladies and gentlemen, I can proudly say we've gotten to the end of this tutorial. So there you have it. This has been the digital painting of a popular comic character using Photoshop. So it's been created and it's done, and hope you learned a lot. So what we have in the next video will be an outro from me, the artist, and speak about some things concerning digital art and AWA as a whole, right? See you guys there in the next video, and I can say it's a wrap. Totally. I've been saying that quite a bit, I know, but really the next video is really a wrap. And see you guys there.